Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Sean Higgs coming at you. It's Tuesday, October the 29th, and as it is Tuesday, Matt Fargo, Chip Chirimbes joining me to talk some college football. But before we get to Chip and Matt and our three college football winners, be sure to hit the like button here on the YouTube channel. Notification bells on. Subscribe, share with your friends and family. Why wouldn't you? We got free picks Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday's the live show. Saturday, Chip, Paul, Jim Feist, they throw out some NFL for you. Football Friday Live, me, Victor King, and Mark Lawrence. And last night, if you missed out, boy, you missed out on a pile of cash on the Monday Night Football show. Hello, everybody. Where were you? Because I looked at it. First of all, like 200 views, which is, all right, I get it. It's a live show. 11 and 12 in player props plus 1463. Folks, all right? Get your head out of your butts and come into the live show. On top of that, I gave you the over and the Steelers and the Dodgers in the over, so you would have went 3-1 on that, and the Dodgers are plus money. So they're not losing money. I can't. You can take a horse to water. You can't make him drink, as they say, fellas. But listen, these are free picks. Good day yesterday. We're going to continue our winning ways. I had the Suns yesterday. Chip, you know what? I didn't even look at our recap for yesterday. Bucks covered yesterday? Or I don't even know. Cavaliers got it done. Suns got it done. I do not know off the top of my head.
The Bucks didn't cover, no.
The Bucks did not.
Bucks did not cover.
They missed by a bucket.
2-1. You know what? 2-1, though, puts money in your pocket. All right? And we're going to do 2-1 or better day with some Saturday college football. But again, free picks here. Head over to gamblersworld.net for all of the premium picks. All right? And it's Degenerate Tuesday, as I like to call it, because I know Matt's going to have some Sunbelt or some crazy I don't even know who's playing today. Is it Sunbelt action? Is it the whack? I don't even know. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday college football. We got you covered. Premium at gamblersworld.net, where our 3, 7, and 30-day packages are all guaranteed. Where if we don't show you a profit, credit you back, and then you find another capper or stick with the same guy because he just maybe went 6 and 6, whatever the case may be, and get on board. Here you go. Look at this. The spooktacular savings. It's 13%. Again, I think that's because of Friday the 13th. I haven't received an official word on that, but that's what I'm guessing for the 13%. Why wouldn't you use it? World Series, although, let's be honest, that'll probably be wrapped up today. We're going to get the brooms out. But hockey's here. NBA is here. College football's here. NFL's in full swing. And I think about a week, maybe 10 days, college basketball is back. So we got that going on. Yep. Be sure to find Chip, Matt, and all my premium picks over at gamblersworld.net. Now we head into the good stuff here. Chip Chirimbes, my guy. I know we were just talking off air, you and Matt. We're talking about the Steelers and the Giants. You guys were Giant guys last night.
Yeah. A
couple things cost you there, late fumbles. I guess the egregious, how's the word? Egregious?
You got it.
Something along those lines. Yes. The
bad
punting,
thing that happened.
Yeah, the bad thing that happened. Simple. Let's keep it simple for everybody. I guess the roughing the punter would be bad. But, I always say this when it comes down to a game where we, just miss out on a cover or something. Can we make a stop somewhere? Can the defense do something and they don't have to worry about a bad play because you're already in the game? And that's not just last night's game. We're going to see bad calls. I mean, the Bears are what? They're petitioning the league to get this game replayed on Thursday. They're going to play this game maybe tomorrow if the league says, oh, yeah, we should have called a penalty somewhere along the line. So, bad calls happen, but I always say defense, make a play somewhere, and you don't have to worry about a penalty. But, Chip, what's going on, fella? How are you?
Well, thank goodness NBA is going on because we came up with our first Megabuck winner last night. We had over the Knicks, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and it sort of bails out and eases the pain of that Giant defeat because that's so agonizing to watch this team and to see your money go down the drain the way it does when you're in the game, you're looking like you may even win the game, and yet you end up short and don't come up with anything. So thank goodness for NBA basketball, and would have swept the board 3-0. The Lakers lost by 4. The number was anywhere between 3.5 and 4.5. You could have pushed, you could have won, you could have gotten beat. So I considered it a push. 2-0-1 in the NBA yesterday.
Hey, take it.
Yep.
So Chip, 8-2
Yep.
run, not too bad. Get Chip's premiums today over at gamblersworld.net. Matt Fargo, good to see you. It's been a week. How was your weekend? How was your college, your NFL? Anything special tonight or going forward?
Yeah, Higgsy, doing well, thank you. A little bit under the weather. as we said pre-show. So I apologize if I sound like I'm talking underwater. But yeah, it was a good weekend. 6-4 college football, 5-3. Week 8 of the NFL, including that Giants loss last night, which was frustrating. And what we're talking about, the Giants had 2 turnovers in the last 2 drives. Yeah, I can complain about that, but at the same time, like you said, make some stops. Russell Wilson looked like an all-pro quarterback, in the second half, making these deep throws, and Giants just couldn't stop him. And that was, obviously ended up being the difference. So, you can call it sour grapes with those last 2 Daniel Jones turnovers, but Pittsburgh was probably the right side to begin with. Yeah. They just looked better throughout the whole game. Giants couldn't make a stop when they needed to. So, and it is Degenerate Tuesday, as you said. Sunbelt action, you were correct. We got a big one going tonight. Love it. So, yeah, let's keep this weeknight football going strong.
I joked with degenerate action. I actually have 2 picks up for tonight. There's 3 games.
See, okay. So
I got 2 games. I got 2 packages up for tonight.
Yeah, call that cut up black. Higgsy, come on, man.
Yes, I got 2 games up. I had a winning weekend yesterday with college football. NFL, I think I went 4-1 after the Pitt win. So last week's finally, I'm starting to catch some numbers here. It's the tide is turning. I think I'm like a 10-2 or 11-3 or something last week. So it was a rough month. I'll tell you what, I'm in a contest and I'm in last place. I'll probably get eliminated this week because my NFL has just been terrible. But finally, some wins. I will take the wins. But it's been a tough month and a half before the last 2 weeks for me with the NFL. But let's talk some South Florida action here. You're going to be doing a South Florida game, Matt, and Florida Atlantic. I guess it's a rivalry game. It is in Florida. South Florida, 2.5-point favorite, 52.5 here. Friday night, 7:30. This one, I had no real kind of feel on, so I'm hoping you steer me in the right direction if I want to get down on this guy. What do you guys for South Florida and the Owls of Florida Atlantic?
Yeah, I'm liking South Florida in this game. They're coming off a win, which snapped a 3-game losing streak. They were one of the favorites. Maybe top 3 coming in the season to win the AAC, and they got off to a bad start. The schedule's played a big role in what their record is at right now. 4 losses have come against Alabama, Miami, Tulane, and Memphis, and they're combined 27-5. So I don't say any loss isn't good, but if you're going to have losses, those are the losses they have. They have no chance in those games. So. And, their quarterback's been out for 2 games. He's questionable coming in, Byron Brown. But Bryce Archie has started the last 2. He's looked all right. And with a couple starts under his belt, if he has to go again, he'll be fine, playing against a really poor defense. With Florida Atlantic, they were coming to the season in a rebuilding year. They have 2 wins, one coming against Wagner, I believe it was Wagner or Monmouth. Wagner of the FCS, and the other coming against Florida International in the rivalry game in the Shula Bowl. So their 2 wins weren't very impressive. And they also have quarterback issues with Cam Fancher, questionable with either a neck or a turf toe injury. I'm not sure which it is. He's had issues with both this year. He probably will go, but he's been, on and off. And the one thing I do like in this game is going contrarian with South Florida going 0-4 ATS in their last 4 games.
Yep.
And those are streaks I'd like to go against because it tends to shade the line, and I think we have value coming in on the Bulls in this one. So, yeah, I like South Florida Friday night.
So, South Florida official show pick here from Matt Fargo, -2.5. And what did we do last Tuesday? 2-1, guys. So we, little not a bad one. 3-0 would be nice, but again, 2-1 puts money in our pocket. Matt's saying take South Florida here, -2.5. I tend to agree. I mean, who'd they beat? At least losing to better teams, is better than just beating a Wagner. But Chip, any thoughts on this one here Friday night?
Yeah, my first thought is that a few years ago, we didn't even know these teams were playing football. They had a couple of good seasons, and now it looks like South Florida and Florida Atlantic are just also rans no matter where they're playing. Florida Atlantic is 2-8 in their last 10 overall. They have covered 4 of those 10 games. But like Matt had said, South Florida had lost 3 in a row. They finally came back with a win over UAB last week, but that's 4 straight games where they didn't make the number. And interesting thing about these two teams, they are ranked almost exactly the same. On offense, South Florida's number 100, and Florida Atlantic is 102. And on defense, South Florida's 119, and Florida Atlantic is 98. But this Florida Atlantic just doesn't seem to be able to win, Matt. I'm going to have to agree with you. I'm going to take South Florida Bulls here. That would be the side if I was to play a game like this, which I'm not. But my opinion, I'll go with South Florida. I hope you got the winner, Matt.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So
go ahead. Sorry to interrupt. The one thing that Chip mentioned was the South Florida wins. They're not very good. They're not very good at all.
Yeah.
UAB, I believe it was Southern Miss, and some FCS teams. So they're not great. But they played the summer schedule. You know, they're more battle tested, and I think that's going to make a difference this game.
Yeah.
You know, my South Florida take is back in the day. So J.C. Pierre-Paul went there, big giant guy. But George Selvey gets zero love. He was actually the All-American on that team. George Selvey. I don't know.
You're talking about a basketball player.
No, George Selvey played for South Florida Bulls. He was an All-American defensive lineman down there with
really?
JPP. Yeah.
There must be 2 of them.
Maybe he played football. I don't know. I mean, he could have. I'm just saying.
There was a basketball player named George Selvey way back when. Oh,
no. We're not going back. We'll get to this day in 1922 in a couple minutes. This is this guy was born in like 1970, 1968 or whatever. All right. Next game up, 8 o'clock Friday night. The ranked Boise team. Boise, 23.5-point favorites over the Aztecs. San Diego State, 23.5 of 56 total. Boise, they're making some noise. They want some playoff action. Nice, crazy, wild win there against UNLV. Now you are on a minus 23.5 line here if you're looking at back Boise. They got the running back. Everybody knows him. They love him. I mean, 200 yards and a half, 3 TDs, and they benched the guy. What are you looking at to do with this game here, Chip? This is a big spread. Total's 56. Go for it.
There's no doubt in my mind Boise's a really good football team. I mean, they kicked me in the teeth last week with that UNLV game. I really needed the Rebels. But they're 6-1. Their only loss is to Oregon, 37-34. And I think at one time this year, Oregon's ranked number 1 or close to it anyway. And Boise has covered every game, just about. The only game they didn't cover, they were a 42.5-point favorite, and they won by 42. Those bookmakers are great, aren't they? How they come up with these numbers, I just don't know. San Diego State is 7-2 against the points in the last 9 meetings, although they've only won 4 of those games. Last week, San Diego State had a 26-14 lead in the 4th quarter against Washington State. The Cougars do have a prolific offense. They came from behind, scored 2 touchdowns to beat the Aztecs. And I think the Aztecs are going to come back this week. I like the Aztecs here. I think the Broncos owe me, and this may be a hate bet, but I would take San Diego here. Like I said, this Heisman Trophy running back is 5'9", but he's a strong dude. He's only 200. He weighs 215 pounds. And number 4 in total offense are the Broncos, 505 yards a game, 287 on the ground, and I'm taking the Aztecs.
San Diego State from Chip Trim is plus 23.5. Friday night, 8 p.m. kickoff, if you're keeping track of that. So Chipper's on an 8-2 run. He likes San Diego State here, plus 23.5. Head over to Gamblers World for his premium picks. Matt Fargo, South Florida minus 3. He's got a top NBA game of the month going tonight, plus a college football game. We love it. I'm with him, college football. I got 2 tonight as well. I'm going to look at a Friday night game here. Again, this is the Football Friday show on a Tuesday. But 7 p.m., Georgia State visits the Connecticut Huskies, because as we said off air, they are not UConn. They are UConn in basketball. But even though they're 5-3 and 1 win away from bowl eligibility, we cannot call this team UConn for football, folks. That is, that's a good point that Matt had brought up. And yes, we cannot say that. They have a ways to go, a long ways. We'll be dead and buried, and probably my kids by the time they're a UConn football team. 7.5 is the spread, a total of 48.5 here. Again, a little Sun Belt action here with Georgia State. Independent UConn. Nobody wants the football squad. As I said earlier, 1 win away from bowl eligibility. And you look at Georgia State, this team beat Vanderbilt somehow. And we've seen Vanderbilt play some good football, beat some teams. How the heck did that happen? Because then you look at this, their losses here. I mean, Georgia State's terrible. So I'm going to be taking UConn here. It's 7.5. And I've said this before on this show, other shows. I see 3.5 and 7.5. I'm automatically like basically on the favorite in that spot. I'm not like Chip just brought up like a half-point loser there. I see that half point. I don't care. They're not getting me with that. No. I think it's because they think that team is better. I'm running with the half points. I'm taking them. If it was 2.5 or 6.5, I would be dogging it up, thinking outright winners. I'll lay the 7.5 here. Third straight road game for Georgia State. They haven't been in any of these games. They're losing by a touchdown, 10 points here and there. And I look at who's UConn lost to. You lost to Wake Forest by 3. It's not terrible. That's a step-up team. You're going to play the ACC, a big school. You lost to Duke by 5. Again, you're stepping up in class. Duke's was a decent team under Elko. They got Manny Diaz in there, decent head coach, defensive guy. You lose by 5 there. And then you lost to Maryland, who trucked you. All right, that's fine. So 3 ACC losses, I don't mind. This is you're punching down to a bad team. You've beaten these teams like Temple and Rice and the like already. I'm going to lay the 7.5 with Connecticut. The Huskies win by 7.5. Actually, I don't say 7.5 or more, but let's say 10-point plus win here for. I keep wanting to say UConn, but I can't, Matt. I got it. It's Connecticut. What do you think?
Not yet. Can't say it yet. Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I think Georgia State's dead. They lost 4 in a row. I think their season's pretty much done. And another point is this is UConn's last home game of the season. This is their 6th straight home game. I've never heard of such a thing. The scheduling, it makes no sense, but it is what it is. They close the season with 3 road games. One of them is UMass, which is winnable. So they can get bowl eligible on the road if need be. But I love this spot. And you mentioned the hook. People are afraid of the hook. And, I think, the lines makers put it out there as bait to take the underdog. No, when you see that hook, I couldn't agree more, is the time to take the favorite. And those key numbers of 7.5, 3.5, even up to 10.5 in those key numbers. So, yeah, I'm on your side with UConn here. I said it. I'm on the side with Connecticut, not UConn, not yet.
It's tough to say. I mean, thank goodness that basketball starts in a week, because we rarely bring Connecticut out for football shows. Chip, thoughts on the Huskies and Georgia State? We'll call them the Huskies.
All right. Georgia has 2 big football teams, Georgia State and Georgia Bulldogs. These are just dogs. They're this team is 3-7 in their last 10. They've only covered 3 of the last 10. They do pass the ball well. They throw for 247 yards a game, but that's juxtaposed to Connecticut. UConn's, no, the Huskies, 193 yards a game on the ground. And they've really come a long way. Like you said, this Connecticut team, which is 7-3 in their last 10, 7-3 against the number. They opened the season with a 50-7 loss against Maryland, and Maryland is not exactly a powerhouse. So I'm kind of surprised that they've played this well into the season. And I'm going to take the Connecticut Huskies, as you guys have them, once again. And, the last time they played, Connecticut had 50 yards rushing, and Georgia State had 250. And I think you may see that turnaround this week. This weekend is a Friday. I'm going to take Connecticut and lay the points. Go Huskies.
So it's a trifecta of Connecticut football backers here for Friday night. This, again, 7 o'clock start here we got going on. So Connecticut, my official play, -7.5. South Florida, -3 for Matt Fargo. Chip Chirimbes, San Diego State Aztecs +23.5. Again, free picks here. Wonderful. Premium picks. Tuesday night for me. Matt Fargo, big game of the month. Chip, I do not know what you have up all at gamblersWORLD.net. Chip, it is the 28th. Has anything special happened? It's the 29th? It is the 29th. Yes, I apologize.
Time flies. Time flies, Sean.
Yes, it does.
But it is an exciting day in sports, and for a couple of reasons. In 1889, before there was a national or American league, there was professional baseball. And at the Polo Grounds, the Giants defeated, are you ready for this? The Brooklyn Bridegrooms. Yeah. And it was a 9-game series. The Giants won 6 games to 3. But one of the most important things that happened in baseball in 1942, Branch Rickey was named president and general manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers, and we know what happened 7 years later when Jackie Robinson made his entrance into the major leagues. In 1945, Happy Chandler was a senator who resigned his position in the Senate to become the Major League Baseball commissioner. And that's kind of unusual. 1969, this date, Tom Seaver, unanimous choice for Cy Young. And in this state, I don't know if you guys remember, I remember this, Joaquin Andujar had a meltdown on the mound in the World Series, and he bumped into an umpire, and he got suspended 10 games opening the season, the next season. And this one is for Jim Quinn, Mr. Quigley. The Phillies beat Tampa Bay in 2008 on this date. And in 2018, a man who's making a great comeback this year, Klay Thompson, broke Stephen Curry's record with 14 threes in one game. By the way, Thompson also had 31 points in one quarter, which is an NBA record as well, one of the great streak shooters in the NBA. So, Sean, there it is for October 29th, and we've got Halloween coming up, so I'm sure we've got more goodies coming up in the next couple of days.
Yeah, we're handing out winners instead of candy here on the Winner Circle Sports Betting YouTube channel, and, of course, on gamblersworld.net, where all the premium stuff is. Yeah, Klay Thompson, what a run he had. I hate when guys get hurt because, you know, I mean, he had a nice game the other night. I think he had like 5 threes or something, but guys get hurt. It's always the same. They're kind of like a shell of them former selves.
Wouldn't you say they had the Golden State had maybe the 2 best shooters in the history of the game in the backcourt at the same time with Thompson and Curry?
Come on.
Yes.
Are they the best shooters? Or is it just a league that they just shoot a lot in?
No, listen, there's nobody better than Stephen Curry. I have never seen anyone that shoots the ball as well as he does. And the distances are getting ridiculous. So he's going to have to start taking lessons from Caitlin Clark, I guess. But no, he's a great shooter. Great shooters.
Come on, he's that guy. He's Chuck Person. He's Craig Hodges. He's Craig Elo. He's no. Yeah. I like to say stuff like that about like Steph Curry. I like make jokes like he's you know, give me Drazen Petrovic over him or something, and people lose their minds on Twitter to say something like that. And then you mentioned Akeem Andujar. So that had to be the 85 series against the Royals, I'm guessing?
Yes, it was. It was 85. So
I was like 11 back then. I remember like doing baseball cards with my friends. We'd get them and like we'd go through the names and you know, we'd like throw guys away or whatever. And we'd call him like walking underwear instead of Akeem Andujar. Like we try to make funny names with guys. That one always stuck out in my head. I don't know. I forgot to bring that up.
He wasn't bad. I mean, when he was in his prime, he can throw the ball. That's for sure.
Him? Who else was on that team? John Tudor was like a 20-game winner, I believe.
Not quite sure.
And Willie, first of all, the offense between McGee, Coleman, Tommy Herr.
You're talking 85. They did have McGee. That was right after the Mets won in 84. So they had Vince Coleman. They had Vince Coleman.
McGee was there. And, 85 was he batted like 353 with McGee that year.
Yeah. The Yankees couldn't play. The Yankees couldn't play him. They had to get rid of him.
Yeah, because we needed like a 36-year-old, like I don't even know who was their Mickey Rivers at 37 or something. Oh, let's talk 85 Yankee baseball pitching staff. Tommy John, the Negro brothers. Anyway, all right, let's wrap this up. Let's quick little recap. San Diego State for Chip, South Florida for Matt, Connecticut for me in football. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to head over to gamblersworld.net for all the premium stuff. And be sure to come back here tomorrow. Me, Chip, Brian Bittler will be doing some more football for you. For Matt Fargo, big game of the month tonight. Go get it at gamblersworld.net. You don't want to miss out on that. Chip Chirimbes. I don't know what Chip has up for today. I didn't see anything on the site as of the 2nd, although it's early here. NBA for a Tuesday. And myself, I got some college football Degenerate Tuesday action. Go get it at gamblersworld.net. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.